you got the sub-Q version. Now, if there was an IV version, would you have preferred the sub-Q over the IV? But again, you're just asking them in a survey question after they have received your treatment what they would have preferred. Do you see why it's less rigorous in terms of data? And then, of course, most patients will say, no, I like the sub-Q version. I would have, I'm glad I got the sub-Q version. You know what I mean? Your question would be something like, you just received this treatment. You received a sub-Q injection. If this drug was available as an IV injection, would you have considered that as an alternative? Or, would you have preferred that? Something like that. I'm not a PRO expert, but that's how it would sound, something like that. So there's a stated, and that's a very easy, cheap study to do. I mean, that costs like, less than $200,000. You only have to ask, maybe half the patients in your trial, and you'd have enough of a sample size to publish. So that's a stated patient preference study versus a revealed crossover design patient preference study. The one that I told you about first, the revealed one, that one has a much bigger chance of getting an FDA label. The second one, the stated patient preference, the easier one to do, where you just ask the patient their opinion, where they only get the sub-Q and not the IV, that you can publish that. You can talk about it. You can hand out, publications. You can talk about it at conferences, but you won't be able to promote on it because it most likely won't be in your label. So if you're a generic manufacturer, I would definitely do the stated one. It's cheap. It's easy to do. And at the very least, you'll have a publication. The other one is, if you think there's upside to it and in being able to promote that, like your market share. So let's say if we can promote and we can go out there aggressively and say, patients prefer this. 9 out of 10 patients prefer this over the branded IV, and that gives you think you can get 20% more market share from the branded version. Or you think you can hold your price and match the branded version price, which I think you could, then there's a return on investment there that's worth how much you have to spend on the study. Those studies can be, depending on how many patients you have per arm, they can go up to $500,000. I mean, we've been quoted figures between $500,000 and $700,000 to do through a CRO. Right. So you're looking at $200,000 versus maybe $1 million. Let me just blow out the number. Yeah. But then you're looking at, okay, we can hold the branded price, as in we'll be able to match the branded price of Velcade with minimal discounting. There. Oh, the other thing I wanted to talk about was and I hope you guys know about, the ASP reimbursement dynamics, right? So the reason why physicians who buy and bill don't like the cheaper generics is because they don't make as much money off of them. But you should know that. That's right. Yeah. Practice economics. Yeah. So make sure that if you have a sub-Q version, that it would be billed under Medicare Part B as a medical benefit, similar to the IV. Just like all the other sub-Qs that are coming out, they're replacing the IVs, like the immuno-oncology sub-Q, the PDX sub-Q, Rituxan sub-Q, Herceptin sub-Q. Just follow the same path. Right?
Okay. Yeah. So continuing on this, we know that there was actually so far one generic Velcade that's already been approved, and I'm wondering if you're able to comment on any impact that you've seen for this.
We don't have any direct competitors with Velcade, but we have combinations with Velcade. Yeah. So we're all for the cheaper versions coming out because it allows us to hold the combination regimen price allows us more room to price on the Innovator brand. So Innovator manufacturers, want to depress the price of the generic combination. And we don't have any trials right now in combination with Velcade. So I haven't been following that. But we have, we're about to launch 4 biosimilars. Biosimilar Herceptin, biosimilar Avastin.